Welcome everybody back to another Bold Cast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Demon Sailor, episode 5. I even ate demons. Let's see what that's about this time. Leave a like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Very exciting stuff. With the honeycomb on top. Oh my god. She's wearing the apron. Weirdly, the cute apron is more modest than all of her other clothes. Oh! Remember how badass it was when Gon was in the volleyball match? And then he's like ignoring Bisky, saying like, be careful, don't do this. And then she's just like, kick their ass. And then he's just like, oh, so fucking sick. Why didn't you at least do it with Tanjiro? You can't just do that.
Yeah, maybe they should have done flexibility before bulking up.
Probably. They probably should have done it before and after, right?
They probably should have done it before and then had to do it consistently through everything.
But that wouldn't make a good anime episode. Are we already done with her thing?
Or is he?
Or are they going back and forth? Oh.
Oh.
I see. Is that the computer?
What is this, resistance to torture? No, this is their training.
I understandable. Have a nice day.
Kills all of them.
I think if this were at an earlier point in the story,
it
would be more impressive.
Saw everyone getting everyone's ass beat.
Well, we already saw, yeah, I mean, Tanjiro's already, like, insanely skilled with a sword, like, with what we've seen him do. He's made incredibly precise cuts, like, flying through the air and, like, doing a perfect form while flying through the air and doing, like, a perfect slice to cut somebody's head off without them feeling pain and shit like that, like.
Just immediately. No, if these guys weren't flinching. Yes, they're sacrifices.
Sacrifices for your growth. Pile them up, Tanjiro. It's a skill. Snack power.
I thought no one else is getting trained here.
Yeah. The rest of the episode is just Tanjiro being tied up and everybody taking turns while like he goes to the end of the queue.
Maybe you should.
The arc's gonna open up with just a legion of these kids getting fucking bodied by by one of the remaining moons. Just like in a swath, all of them. Just day after day, the same thing. That black eye looks rough.
Yeah. So you just gotta ignore the other people. Those other guys never get to leave.
That's how pure Tanjiro is. He's not even trying to rizz her up at all. He just wants to make friends. Oh no.
Oh, great.
What, your favorite part of the show's back? Look at you. Aren't you so happy? Who's he training with? Sonami?
How have you survived up till this point?
Yeah, I think it's Sonami. Oh no, it's not. It's fucking, what's his name? Oh no, it is Sonami. It is Sonami. They play the super epic music.
Oh good, he's dead!
Oh, thank God. It's not about my personal feelings. We're co-workers, so we have to make it work. I'm going to be the bigger person and put it behind me for the sake of the mission. You can say all you want. Where's Lil Bro? Feels like half of the training is just getting the shit beat out of you by the hashira. That's like 3 of the hashira so far. Well, 3 or 4 of the hashira that's so... Wait, 3 of the hashira. No, 4 of the hashira so far has mostly been just the underlings getting the shit beat out of them.
Well, you've been...
His knuckles, too.
You've been speedrunning the training. Maybe it's, you know, maybe it's time you get taken down a notch. I'm not sure that was a good thing to tell him. Oh my god.
I think you might want to help if this gets out of hand. Now's when the real training starts, when he's pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
As if he isn't always pissed off.
No, just blind him.
It's been so long since we watched their backstory, but I got the impression that the older brother that Sanemi was trying to prevent him from getting killed, but I can't remember.
He's already looking rough.
Genya, pull out your gat. What are you doing? The face.
Like, why are you bringing me into this? Oh. I'm trying to help you here. Oh my god.
There's still time. It's because you don't think you're gonna die. But there's still Genya's hashira master dude, whatever his name. I always forget his name. Ooh, very pretty. I love that little shot there. That was nice. Oh boy, yeah. Religious hashira.
Is it?
I feel like this is where he's gonna unlock some shit with his mark. Mindfulness training. Excellent episode, I thought. I think it was actually way better than last week's. There's some character stuff. Yeah.
Well, I thought I liked the second half more. The first half was kind of just.
First half was kind of funny.
Yeah, there's some funny moments. There was some kind of.
Did spend a lot of time with Kanroji, which could have been more fun. We were gone with her, like, it's funny. The reason why I was so surprised wasn't because, like, oh, there's probably so much more going on with her and her training.
But
it's just with the amount of time we've spent overall, like, just kind of, like, almost just as with the other, like, you know, when not like much is going on with the other training, it's like, you know, I guess they're just, I'm glad they didn't just, like, draw out her gag the whole time, you know, but they did with other people. So so that's why I'm like, oh, well, why wouldn't, if they were going to drag it out at all, why wouldn't they do it with her where it's like more fun? I guess because they wanted to get to this more emotional part of this episode, which does make sense.
Down going on.
But yeah, so sick, I think. The whole thing with Sanemi, yeah, I forget. I feel really bad because it's been a long time. It's been like, I guess, a year since we got Genya's backstory, and I forget the whole thing, basically he and his brother were living with their mom, I think, and their mom got fucking, and their other brothers and sisters and stuff, I think, if I remember correctly, and they got fucking, Sanemi went out, and then the demon, and then their mom turned into a demon and killed their whole family.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm correct, there's this thing where Sanemi is, like, being an asshole to him, but it's more to, like, distance him because Sanemi was gonna go kill all the demons or whatever. So he became a demon slayer, and then he left Genya behind because he didn't want Genya to have to go, you know, kill demons and possibly die. But then Genya followed, and it's kind of like a Sasuke Itachi situation in a way, where he, you know, he's giving tough love to try and, but not really showing his hand. He's like, you know, being the big brother and fucking with him, but in a way that protects him, and being the villain kind of thing.
Weird kind of, yeah.
Yeah, but
I can't believe he almost poked at his eyes. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah. He must have known Tanjiro was there and would save him. Like, going with this interpretation. Unless I'm just completely fucking wrong and I forgot the whole backstory. But that was the idea that
I remember that's what you said when we saw the backstory.
It's just the only thing that would make sense, because, like, it would fit perfectly with everything that he's doing, you know? Like, to kind of push him away and try to discourage him as much as possible. And, you know, he's saying that he's, you know, oh, well, I have no brother. And then Tanjiro's like, what? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Then why do you care so much? And then he's just like, fine, then I'll wound you beyond belief so that you can't do anything. And that would also make sense if he was trying to protect him, because if he was like, if his legs were broken, he wouldn't be able to go fight demons. So that's what I think anyway. And it would make sense. It would be really tragic if, like, Sanemi goes out and dies and Genya has to, like, you know, whatever. And it's also really tragic, again, very similar, like, Sasuke Itachi type thing, where Sasuke takes the curse mark and goes into the darkness and like corrupts himself in order to get enough power to reach this threshold where he can get to his brother. It's a little bit different of a circumstance, obviously, for a number of reasons, but you know, he corrupts himself to reach that level. And then and Genya's doing the same thing by using, you know, he has a gun, which, you know, everybody else is using swords, and he does obviously use a shorter blade, but and he's obviously very skilled, but he's like supplementing that power and taking a shorter route. You know, not that he's not skilled. I actually really like his fighting style. I think it's really badass. But you know, by eating demons, taking their power, and with using a gun to supplement that power as well, to try and reach this threshold, to reach his brother so that he can prove himself when his brother is, you know, wouldn't want to accept him anyway, because he just wants his brother, or he wants his younger brother to live. I think it's really tragic, and it's actually a really good story. And I want to see how it kind of turns out. Yeah,
I'm also excited for this next little training thing.
Yes,
because I feel like I feel like, to me at this point, like we know. I mean, obviously at this point we know the least about him, but I feel like we've known the least about him for a while. Like, even when we saw all of the other guys, it was very obvious of, like, oh, this is kind of their thing. So I feel, and as we said, a lot of the training thus far has just been like, yeah, let's beat the shit out of them, and let's, like, smack them around a bit. But I'm interested in this, and like Tanjiro was saying, it's like, okay, I haven't really hit any breakthroughs yet, and I feel like I'm hoping that, like, at this point he can like realize something or make some kind of insight through this, like, more mental or spiritual training that can help him to go to the next level, because as we know, like, a lot of the other demon slayers were not as strong. Tanjiro has had a lot more experience in, like, crazy life and death scenarios than pretty much anyone else that's not a hashira at this point, other than obviously, like, Zenitsu and stuff, who was there with him. But he still needs to get something out of this training arc. There's no point of having a training arc if no one gets trained.
Yeah, is it just to so far the only thing that we've gotten as far as, like, power leveling up is just that is showing off how much better Tanjiro is than everyone else, and maybe giving him, you know, because it's hard to say, because, like, when shit comes down to it in Demon Slayer, shit will just work out like, because of a burst of inspiration. You know, Tanjiro will pull off feats of superhuman activity in the moment. So, like, him training to, like, be able to pull off those feats, I think will have to pay off in some sort of big initial thing where he, like, is, like, it's made a big deal that, like, oh, the training's paying off. He's clearly a level above what he was before, even if before he was also doing all this other stuff. It has to, you know, pay off in that way. But as far as the mark thing, I think you're right. That's what this is going to be. That's why they reminded us of the mark before going into this, because he's like, I don't see any change in my mark as far as all this is concerned. And that's kind of the whole point. And yeah, other than that, the whole training thus far has just been pretty much just beating up on all the other, like, lesser demon slayers and getting us to kind of get a better idea of the level of their power. I think it would be really, as like I was saying, a big introduction moment where Tanjiro is, like, way more badass. I think it would be really cool if there's, like, a big war battlefield moment where, like, everybody's expecting a lot of the demon slayers, and, like, we're, after seeing the training, are expecting a lot of the younger demon slayers to, like, just die instantly. But they end up, like, they surprise us and put up, like, a way better fight. That would be crazy. They all storm the battlefield, and they're all, like, leveled up clearly and are way more badass. I think that would go so hard if it, like... Because right now, all we're seeing is just them getting the shit kicked out of them. So if we had expected that, and then they go in and actually are pulling off some crazy moves and, like, holding their own, that would actually be pretty sick.
Yeah.
The only thing I also wish is that, I don't want to bloat the cast too much, but I would have preferred a lot of these, like, named younger demon slayers, other guys... or unnamed, to have names, or to have some, like, they don't need to be full-on designed or anything, but, like, the guy with the spiky hair, then the guy with the swoopy hair, or a bald, you know,
just something so, like, in that situation, where we would be able to see and, like, be a little bit more attached to, like, oh yeah, I remember this guy, and now he's doing that, and oh no, it's still not enough, and he died, or something.
And maybe it's, like, a background thing where, like, one of them, you know, really shines in Kanroji's, like, stretching training, and, like, he's taking, it's like a joke or a gag or something where he's taking to the splits a lot better than the rest of them. And then it, like, next season or whatever, when there's a big battle, he, like, is doing flips and, like, doing, like, not full on the breathing style or anything. Or maybe he does pull something out, like one of the forms and shit, and it's like, whoa, it, like, really worked out. I remember when he was, like, you know, stretching way better than everyone else, or something like that. Like, shit like that would pay off a lot more. I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity that we're not getting even those small stories. Not a lot, just a little bit of characterization in those little things. I wish we could get some of that, and maybe it will pay off. I really hope it does, and it's not just, you know, them showing...
Or just, you know, to, like, show off how cool the hashira are.
Yeah, because, like, the hashira are already pretty cool, and I feel like that's okay to do, like, to show off, because that's, okay, this is the other thing I wanted to say, as far as the characterization while we're on that topic. We've had, like, we were originally talking about, like, you know, as we've gone through Demon Slayer, we were talking about, like, how... You know, oh, this arc is this hashira, and then this arc is this hashira, and we learn about them, and we get a connection to them, and we were kind of getting bored of that formula, and then they started doing doubles, or they did a double, I guess, last season, and now they're, like, quick trip, like, streamlining the rest of the story before we get access to, like, 3 of the hashira, and going to the end. But it doesn't feel as bad for anyone except for this guy. This is the only one where I'm kind of disappointed with them, like, skipping things. Because Iguro, he is a little bit disappointing because he's, you know, he's less connected. But he's still connected to Kanroji. He still gets some characterization there. We got a little bit of more characterization from him in the initial introduction. We have a better idea of him. With Sanemi, I feel satisfied with him because although we didn't get an arc with him, we got an arc with Genya, and that connects us directly to Sanemi. And obviously the initial conflict as well with Sanemi. Gave us, you know, stabbing Nezuko and stuff. We have a decent idea of him, even though we haven't spent a whole arc with him. So we have a good idea of what he is about and what, you know, so we don't need a whole arc with him. Iguro, less so, but, you know, it's understandable. This guy, I feel like it really is, like, as far as, like, I say missed opportunity, I feel like it's literally a missed opportunity, or a sacrificed opportunity, I would say. You know, maybe there would have been a bigger arc with him, or maybe
we don't know if he's going to be more focused on, like, for the rest of this. I mean,
like, before this final, because we're clearly heading into, like, the final confrontation. So, in what I would normally consider an ideal story, not saying that this won't be ideal, or this won't work out, or that this is bad, I'm not saying that. But what I would expect from, like, you know, a story like Demon Slayer that's working with conventions to like build things up in a consistent, visible way. Everybody gets development. We have some connection to everybody as we head into this final confrontation, so that when things go to shit and stuff is worrying, things are happening, people are getting injured or people are getting killed, and there's danger around every corner from like the biggest threat that we've seen, we have a reason to fear for everybody that's on the table. And at this point, we'll see how this training goes, but I feel like the only one where I'm not going to really care, like not have any kind of sliver of connection, unless something really cool happens here, and he is very interesting. Like I've said that from the beginning. I feel like he's been the most visually interesting and, conceptually interesting hashira that there is. So, I'm not ruling anything out, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you guys understand what I'm saying. Just that I feel like he's the only one where we don't have that kind of, even a vague connection with like we do with Iguro, because every other hashira we kind of do.
Anyway, yeah, I agree.
I hope that kind of makes sense, but I'm not counting anything out for like the what's as far as stakes or personal connection anything is going forward. I'm just kind of saying where I'm at is where I'm pretty like the fact that we haven't got that arc with Sanemi at all, but using other characters and using build up, we still have a connection to his story and everything like that, kind of tangentially, and it feels very like I want to see how it ends. I want to see how the story kind of concludes. I feel like that it's kind of a stroke of genius in that way, where we don't need to spend a whole arc, but we're just as connected to him, if not more, than some of the people that we did spend a lot of time with. So I feel like that's good. W, and now we get to see what's gonna happen next in the training arc.
And Inosuke is back.
Inosuke is back. W. Leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.